see you moving, honey. Then they come in and they're like, I got something else I need you to work on. You can do this. Okay, so we think we're done. No. There's one more step to this. Hey y'all, this is Tamika, the face behind Hey HR. And listen guys, we have yet another great topic to talk about. I have a client who has a very big dilemma that so many of us work on. So many of us have this issue and we have a very strong learning curve when we're trying to figure it out. Well listen, I'm giving you the tools so that your learning curve is just a tad bit smoother. So the issue at hand is that you are managing an HR department and they're not quite producing the way that you like. Maybe those HR professionals are very green in their career. Maybe they came from doing something all the way different and now we've put them into HR. If that's not the case, maybe they're just starting their careers. You have so many factors that weigh into the level of knowledge and experience from your HR professionals. Maybe they're very strong in an area that you need a lot of work in, but you still need them to develop other skills in your HR department. So if you want to know how can I get my HR team to be just a tad bit more productive and to get them on the grind and on the vibe, the flow that I have, then guess what? You want to keep on watching. First of all, you want to definitely sit down and just acknowledge different areas of your team's weaknesses, their strengths, and the areas and when they can improve. Listen, if you just sit down and pay attention that, you know what, my benefits person's really good in benefits, but when it comes to managing the actual claims or it comes to reconciling the benefits every month, or when it comes to kind of preparing for open enrollment, or even if we're doing benefits negotiation and this person just can't quite get it, but they can manage the day-to-day that the employees need, then okay, I need to truly focus on how I can get them in a position of understanding that more. But I definitely want them to know that I've acknowledged that they're great and benefits. So you want to send them emails, you want to shout them out in front of your team at your team meetings, you want to send company-wide kudos and congratulations for a job well done. And then you want to have that one-on-one conversation with them to say, I am really impressed with your work in this, and this. Tell me how you get there. Get them comfortable with talking about it, with acknowledging that you're noticing their great work, their hard work, their tenacity. And then when they're all done, say, you know what? Okay, you have this. You already have this in place. I like where you're going with this, continue. But now I need us to work on these areas because this will make this part of your job even easier. So now I want to make sure that you're getting some one-on-one teachings from various resources. Maybe you've noticed that this person is somebody that really likes being in front of their learning experience. Maybe there's someone that really likes just sitting down and being by themselves. Maybe online works for them. So maybe you want to look at that as well. Even if they prefer one thing over the other, give them a variation of training. Make a training plan for them and continue to help them excel in that area. So the same with someone that's having weaknesses. Maybe you notice that your payroll person, they definitely get that pay run done, but they're running around all over the place before it. They're mentally and physically exhausted afterwards. So you want to look at what areas are they having trouble with. So you want to sit down and do the same thing with them. Hey, you're amazing with getting this pay run done. Our pay is never late. Everyone always gets paid. You're amazing at this. Tell me what you enjoy about this. Again, get them very comfortable in the area that they soar in, an area that they're doing very well in. And then you want to say, now that you already have this in place, let's work on perfecting you in this area, right? So then that makes training so much easier. They're open to it. They're inviting of it. They know that you've acknowledged their hard work and that you're working with them. Again, you want to acknowledge your team's hard work. So you want to tell your team overall, individually, publicly, privately, how great they are in different areas. Make them know that they have your support. So your next area to kind of get your team where you need them is to communicate. So communicating with your team is very important. I always suggest at least a monthly team meeting at minimum. If you find that your organization or your industry is very rigorous and you need to do a weekly team meeting, then great. But if you're doing those weekly team meetings and you notice that you have less engagement, more absentees, and not very many people that's really giving into this meeting and not very many action items after this meeting, then you definitely would probably want to move it to a monthly meeting. You want them to put their energy and their focus where they need it to be. And you want communication to be your number one objective. So, okay, you already met with your team on a monthly basis. Now you want to communicate with the organization. You want them to know kind of what the next steps are for your department and how that affects them as an employee. You want them to see that you're constantly being productive, you're constantly thinking about them, and you will get feedback from the organization on where they want you to work on different things. When they see you moving, honey, then they come in and they like,
I got something else I need you to work on.
You can do this. Guys, communication is huge. Don't think that email communications are the best way to go. If there's a big topic that you need to talk about and you notice that your email to whomever is more than one paragraph can be 3 sentences. If it's more than that, you need to hold on that email. Go have an in-person conversation with them. Prepare for that meeting. Do some step back notes to it. Make some action items from that meeting. And then it is kind of okay to say, okay, I'm going to send an email to rehash everything that we went over. That way you're documenting it for you and you're documenting it for them. But let's be clear. If you already had a meeting with them, they completely understand. It was just a touch-based meeting. There's no issues with this. Please don't follow it up with the email. HR professionals will feel that they are being documented and they will take that negatively because now it wasn't just a conversation. It's more to it because you feel like you need to document it. So make sure if you're going to document it, let them know, hey, I'm just going to send you an email that goes over everything that we talked about. It's just to make sure that we're on the same page. If you see any issues, let me know. But don't just pop out of the meeting, hey, that was a great meeting, and all of a sudden there's a big, long email. Most of all, don't include things in this email that you didn't discuss in person. Make sure that you stick to those action items. When you're done with that communication, if it's a monthly team meeting or what have you, or if it's a quarterly team meeting, whatever that meeting is, if you have accumulated action items in that meeting, stick to them. When you're done sticking to those action items and you're continuously going, make sure that you're communicating publicly, not just privately, but that you're communicating publicly. Make sure to let your department head or the person that you report to know, hey, I've spoken with so-and-so about this, this, and this. And you want to have that conversation in front of that person if you can. Make sure that you do your best to make that a public moment so that everyone is on the same page. Lastly, in this communication, you want to make sure that you're informing your team all about how we're progressing, your action plans for the future. Communicate that clearly. If you've already made your annual calendar, which you should have already done, I've mentioned it in a couple videos. I'll tag it here for you. But make sure that you say, hey, we already talked about our annual calendar, and this is the direction that we're going in with this annual calendar. And so moving forward, when we're all done with this area, this is the area that each of you are focusing on. We're going to go and gradually grow into this area next. That will make folks feel like I have to get this done. I have to commit to it. And the only way that my team can move to the next step is if I get this done. And I will definitely let my manager or whomever know that I'm having trouble. It just opens up lines for communications and it makes it so much easier. I'm promising you, if you come up with a plan that you're sticking to and you show them that plan over time, burnout is going to be minuscule. So now with your team, you want to create a plan of action that you included them in. So you've already communicated with them the direction that you're going to, but the tedious details, you want to make that plan and create that plan with your team. Yeah, you're probably going to do the foundation of that plan. You're probably going to do kind of the skeleton of that plan or the framework. All of the details that go into it, have your team combine together to make the meat of that plan. That will help them feel inclusive. That will help them completely understand the direction you're going into. That will help them critically think. So you definitely want to create that HR monthly or annual calendar. I highly suggest that you do your calendar on an annual basis. Adjust it as needed. You definitely want to make sure that you're doing time blocking so that everyone is aware of what your schedule is like and when they can impede in that schedule. And then lastly, you definitely want to provide internal and external resources that they can use along the way. Your human resources information system is full of them. If that is all of the live lessons or live webinars that are going on a monthly basis, if that is just pre-recorded teachings or what have you, if that is your local employment law attorney, perhaps the attorney that's working for your organization, actually you can include many more. Look them up, see what opportunities they have available. If that's sending them out into another organization where you have built a network with, then you're saying, hey, go watch so-and-so at this completely different organization, do their job for a week. Whatever it is, make sure you're providing a lot of internal and external resources so that they can feel that they have the support to make their learning curve a tad bit easier. All right, y'all, so we've already talked about acknowledging your team's areas of concern, your great areas, what have you, everything. You want to acknowledge your team. You want to communicate with them, and you want to implement a plan. Okay, so we think we're done. No. There's one more step to this. What we want to do is make sure that we are following up and measuring our successes and our failures. So you're going to constantly review and improve. You're going to review some metrics that you put in place. Maybe you already have some metrics, maybe you don't. This is your time to create metrics so that you can have a measuring pot of where you are doing well and where you can actually improve in or have some areas of just perfection. You want to inform your leaders on where your plan is going with your HR department, where they may see HR professionals come in and impede in their department or ask their department for actual assistance throughout this plan. And after you have completed a level of comfort in your metrics and you're looking at this over time, then you definitely want to make sure that you're creating new metrics, that you're creating new goals, and that you're looking at areas of constant improvement. In human resources, things change so often. Laws change often, software change often, opportunities change often, even your organization change often. So what you want to make sure that you're doing is looking at ways to continuously improve. You already did the foundation. You already have the communication there. You're going to constantly communicate. You already have the areas where you're constantly telling where they're good, where they can improve, and how you're messaging that. You already have a plan of action in place. You just need to tweak it to whatever is new. Y'all, I just thank y'all so much for watching another Hey HR video. If you have gotten this far, then I'm hoping that you have already subscribed because you definitely are intrigued. So if you find this video or any of my other videos valuable, then I want you to do me a huge favor because it truly helps my channel stay alive and continue to let YouTube know that I'm providing you guys with what you need. So do me a huge favor, not only subscribe and hit the alerts, but hit the like button. Leave me a comment. Tell me if there's something I'm missing in these videos that I can improve for you. All I want you to do from here on out is just stick around for the next video.